Konnichiwa, minasan. O genki desu ka? Welcome to the intermediate course of my channel. Let's learn Japanese with Eric. If you have minimal background in the Japanese language or have limited knowledge of Japanese particles, adjective, and basic verb conjugation, or how Japanese sentences are put together, please review the playlist of the basic course, which covers lessons 1 to 31, and watch the video you need makeup lessons on. Otherwise, let's begin. Hajimemashou. In this lesson, we will learn how to express I want to do something. For example, I want to eat, which in Japanese is tabetai. The formula for making this conjugation is to take the conjunctive form of the verb and adding the suffix tai. And to say the opposite, I don't want to do something, the tai changes to takunai. For example, I don't want to eat. That is, tabetakunai. These new conjugations behave both as verbs and i-adjectives. If you recall the 10 basic verb conjugations, the conjugation that we use for want to and don't want to is the conjunctive form of the verb. And as in our past lessons, let's do a quick review of how to make the conjunctive form. If you know the mas form of verbs, simply drop the mas, and what's left is the conjunctive form. For example, tabemas yields tabe. Conjunctive form of yomimasu is yomi, and the conjunctive form of tsukaimasu is tsukai. There are three major categories of Japanese verbs. The Category 1 or root-dropping verbs, Category 2 or last hiragana changing verbs, and Category 3 or the irregular verbs. For a more detailed explanation of how to form the basic verb conjugations, please review lessons 26 to 30. We will also be using verbs introduced in these lessons in our examples here. If you want to know more about basic Japanese sentence construction, please review lessons 22 to 24, all in our English playlist. However, if you start off from the dictionary forms, you need to remember a few things, depending on the category of the verb. If it's a Category 1 verb, simply drop the ru, and what's left is the conjunctive form. For example, the verb taberu, which means to eat. Drop the ru, and what's left is the conjunctive form, tabe. For Category 2 or last hiragana changing verbs, the last hiragana of the dictionary form is changed to the I series. These are the 9 kinds of endings, kugusu, bumunu, ru, tsu, and u. And to make their conjunctive forms, they all change to their I series counterparts, as you can quickly see here, kigishi, bimini, ri, chi, and i. So for conjugating Category 2 verbs, it's the verb ending you need to pay attention to, and you change them into the I series to form their conjunctive. As for the 5 commonly used irregular verbs, suru becomes shi, kuru becomes ki, and iku becomes iki. The verbs aru and da do not participate in this conjugation. Now, because conjunctive tai and takunai are both grammatically verbs and i-adjectives, what is it you want to do or not want to do can take either the direct object particle wo or the subject particle ga. This is in general terms. There are situations where one is preferable over the other, to give slight differences in the meaning, but let us not bother with those at this stage. Let's look at our first example. Let's use our favorite verb, the verb taberu, which means to eat. It is a Category 1 or ru-dropping verb. The ru is dropped to form tabe, which is the conjunctive form. Adding the suffix tai forms tabetai, tabetai, which means want to eat. The sentence, I want to eat sushi. In Japanese, watashi wa sushi wo tabetai desu, or watashi wa sushi ga tabetai desu. The direct object sushi can take either the particle wo or ga. The watashi wa is optional because the default, when no doer is specified, is always the speaker. Adding on the suffix takunai to the conjunctive form tabe forms tabetakunai, tabetakunai, which means don't want to eat. To say, I don't want to eat sushi, in Japanese, watashi wa sushi o tabetakunai desu, or watashi wa sushi ga tabetakunai desu. Again, watashi wa is optional. Sometimes you will hear tabetakunai expressed in its polite form, tabetaku arimasen, with the nai part becoming arimasen. In this case, you would no longer need des to end the sentence. Watashi wa sushi o or ga tabetaku arimasen. Some words of caution: only use the conjunctive tai takunai conjugation to refer to yourself. This is because Japanese people don't presume what other people want or don't want. However, it's okay to use tai takunai when asking people questions about what they want or don't want to do. Another word of caution: do not use this conjugation to make invitations because it would sound too direct, blunt, and even impolite, as if the person were dying to do the action. For invitations, use masenka instead. Making invitations are discussed in Lesson 34. To talk about what other people want or don't want, we have at least 3 options. The first is to use the suffix tagaru, which attaches to the conjunctive form of the verb, converting the verb to a category 2. Tagaru means it seems like A wants to do this or that. The next option is to use conjunctive tai or takunai, but then you add to omoimasu at the end of your sentence to mean I think that A wants to do this or that. And the third option is also to use conjunctive tai or takunai, and at the end of your sentence you add to itteimashita to mean that A said that he, she wants to do this or that. The other options involve modalities such as soda, noda, rashi, and mitai, which imply hearsay, explanation, and conjecture and personal observation. Conjugations that we will tackle in future lessons. For now, we focus on the first 3. For example, to express that Mayumi wants to eat sushi, you can say Mayumi-san wa sushi o tabetagatte-imasu. Mayumi-san wa sushi o tabetagatte-imasu. It means, it seems that Mayumi wants to eat sushi. We use the progressive form tagatte-imasu for this because it's an ongoing desire of Mayumi's. When using tagaru, you can no longer use the particle ga to mark the direct object, but have to use wo. And this is because conjunctive tagaru is now a full verb and no longer an adjective. Using the second option with to omoimasu, we can say Mayumi-san wa sushi o tabetai to omoimasu, or Mayumi-san wa sushi ga tabetai to omoimasu. Adding to omoimasu modifies the meaning to I think that Mayumi wants to eat sushi. And this is the third option. Mayumi said she wants to eat sushi. In Japanese, Mayumi-san wa sushi o tabetai to itteimashita, or Mayumi-san wa sushi ga tabetai to itteimashita. To itteimashita modifies the meaning to Mayumi said she wants to eat sushi. Now let's look at a category 2 verb example. The verb to drink, nomu. Its conjunctive form is nomi. Adding the suffix tai to nomi forms nomitai, nomitai, which means want to drink. I want to drink plum wine, or umeshu. In Japanese, umeshu o nomitai desu, or umeshu ga nomitai desu. To say the opposite, I don't want to drink beer, we add takunai to the conjunctive nomi and form nomitakunai, nomitakunai, which means don't want to drink. In Japanese, biiru o nomitakunai desu, or biiru ga nomitakunai desu. We mentioned that adding the suffix tai turns verbs into i-adjectives. This also means we can conjugate tai not only into the negative takunai, but also into their past tenses. We studied i-adjectives earlier in Lesson 15. Now doing this for nomu, we have nomitai, which means want to drink. Negative, nomitakunai, don't want to drink. Past tense of nomitai is nomitakatta, which means wanted to drink. And past tense of nomitakunai is nomitaku nakatta, which means did not want to drink. As usual, same as in verbs, the nai turns to nakatta when forming the past tense. To say, I wanted to drink plum wine yesterday, in Japanese, 昨日、梅酒を飲みたかったです or 昨日、梅酒が飲みたかったです。And to say, I didn't want to drink beer at the party, in Japanese, パーティーでビールを飲みたくなかったです or パーティーでビールが飲みたくなかったです。Let's look at some more examples. Another category 2 verb is 使う, which means to use. Its conjunctive form is 使い. And conjugating into the four tenses, 使いたいmeans wants to use. 使いたくない means don't want to use. 使いたかった means wanted to use. And 使いたくなかった means did not want to use. Do you want to use the chair? In Japanese, 椅子を使いたいですか or 椅子が使いたいですか? It's possible to ask this, but socially it would be more common to simply ask, will you use the chair? 椅子を使いますか? I don't want to use the computer. In Japanese, コンピュータを使いたくないです or コンピューターが使いたくないです。I wanted to use the car last week. In Japanese, 先週車を使いたかったです or 先週車が使いたかったです。I didn't want to use the phone. In Japanese, 電話を使いたくなかったです or 電話が使いたくなかったです。Let's look at a category 3 verb, the verb to do, or する. Its conjunctive form is し. The verb する forms compound verbs with nouns. 勉強する means to study. The conjunctive form is 勉強し. And conjugating in all four tenses, I want to study Japanese. 日本語を勉強したいです。日本語を勉強したいです。The rest of the tenses. 日本語は勉強したくないです。日本語は勉強したくないです。I don't want to study Japanese. 日本語を勉強したかったです。日本語を勉強したかったです。I wanted to study Japanese. 日本語は勉強したくなかったです。日本語は勉強したくなかったです。I did not want to study Japanese. Now you may have noticed that I use the particle wa in making the negative sentences したくない and したくなかった. And this is because Japanese people want to hear the particle wa in a negative sentence. Now let's look at other common verbs in all verb categories. I will use the non-past tense tai or takunai in my examples. Miru is to see. Mitai is want to see. 映画を見たいです。映画を見たいです。I want to see a movie. 教える means to teach. 教えたい means want to teach. 日本語を教えたいです。日本語を教えたいです。I want to teach Japanese. 寝る means to sleep. And 寝たい means want to sleep. 疲れたから寝たいです。疲れたから寝たいです。Because I'm tired, I want to sleep. 痩せる means to get thin. And 痩せたい means want to become thin. もう少し痩せたいです。もう少し痩せたいです。I want to become a bit more thinner. 歩く means to walk. 歩きたい means want to walk. 私はハイヒールで歩きたくないです。私はハイヒールで歩きたくないです。I don't want to walk in high heels. 聞く means to ask a question or listen. 聞きたい means want to ask a question or want to listen. 音楽を聴きたいです。音楽を聴きたいです。I want to listen to music. 泳ぐ means to swim and 泳ぎたい means want to swim. 海を泳ぎたいです。海を泳ぎたいです。I want to swim in the sea. 急ぐ means to hurry. 急ぎたい means want to hurry. もう遅いですから急ぎたいです。もう遅いですから急ぎたいです。Because I'm already late, I want to hurry. 話す means to speak. Hanashitai means want to speak. 私はあなたと話したくないです。私はあなたと話したくないです。I don't want to speak with you. 返す means to return something, and 返したい means want to return something. 本を返したいです。本を返したいです。I want to return the book. 遊ぶ means to play, and 遊びたい means want to play. 友達と遊びたいです。友達と遊びたいです。I want to play with my friends. 選ぶ means to choose. 選びたい means want to choose. どんなネクタイが選びたいですか？どんなネクタイが選びたいですか？ What kind of necktie would you like to choose? 住む means to live in a place. 住みたい means want to live in it. 日本に住みたいです。日本に住みたいです。I want to live in Japan. 読む means to read. 読みたい means want to read. 小説を読みたいです。小説を読みたいです。I want to read a novel. There's only one new ending verb in the whole Japanese language, and that is shinu, which means to die. Shinitai means want to die. 私は死にたくないです。私は死にたくないです。I don't want to die. 作る means to make. 作りたい means want to make. ケーキを作りたいです。ケーキを作りたいです。I want to make a cake. 乗る means to ride, and 乗りたい means want to ride. 馬に乗りたいです。馬に乗りたいです。I want to ride a horse. 待つ means to wait, and 待ちたい means want to wait. 私はあなたを待ちたくないです。私はあなたを待ちたくないです。I don't want to wait for you. 勝つ means to win, and 勝ちたい means want to win. 試合に勝ちたいです。試合に勝ちたいです。I want to win the competition. 会う means to meet, and 会いたい means want to meet. 君に会いたいです。君に会いたいです。I want to meet you. 買う means to buy, and 買いたい means want to buy. 車を買いたいです。車を買いたいです。I want to buy a car. And now the category 3 verbs. 行く means to go, and 行きたい means want to go. 学校に行きたいです。学校に行きたいです。I want to go to school. 来る means to come, and 来たい means want to come. 私はここに来たくないです。私はここに来たくないです。I don't want to come here. 結婚する means to marry, and 結婚したい means want to get married. 綺麗な女と結婚したいです。綺麗な女と結婚したいです。I want to marry a beautiful woman. 旅行する means to travel, and 旅行したい means want to travel. 世界中を旅行したいです。世界中を旅行したいです。I want to travel the whole world. And to summarize, in this lesson, we learned how to express I want to do and don't want to do. For example, want to eat, tabetai. Don't want to eat, tabetakunai. The formula is to take the conjunctive form of the verb and add tai for want to do and takunai for don't want to do. These are now grammatically verbs and i-adjectives. As such, they can also be conjugated into their past tenses. Past tense of tai is takatta, which means wanted to do, and past tense of takunai is takunakatta, which means did not want to do. Use tai and takunai to express what you want and don't want to do. You can also use this form to ask other people what they want or don't want to do. However, you can't use tai takunai to express what other people want or don't want to do. Instead, you can use the conjunctive TAGATTE-IRU form to say, it seems A wants to do this or that, Or you can use tai takunai but add to omoimasu at the end of your sentence to mean I think that A wants to do this or that. Or you can add to itteimasu or itteimashita to mean that A said he, she wants to do this or that. The key to speaking fluent Japanese is really your knowledge of verbs and verb conjugation. My lessons take care of the verb conjugation part. To build up your verb vocabulary, I recommend this verb book, Tuttle's The Complete Japanese Verb Guide. It has about 400 Japanese verbs and over 200 compound suru verbs. I put the link to this book down below. So this ends our lesson on tai and takunai conjugation. Any questions? Just write them down in the comment section below. それじゃ、次のレッスンに会いましょう. See you in the next lesson. お疲れ様でした. If you're serious about becoming fluent in Japanese, it's important to practice daily, learn grammar, and build up vocabulary. My whole course is designed to give you a strong basic foundation in the Japanese language that you can build solidly on. So please click like, share, or subscribe, and watch the next video in the series. 日本語の勉強に頑張ってください。じゃあ、またね。